Okay then, so welcome back everyone to Sherlock Holmes vs Jack the Ripper. Here we are with Dr. Watson, and we're here at the site of the second murder. Yes, quite a crowd has built up out here at 6:20 in the morning, and Sherlock himself has come to investigate this murder. I'm guessing it's in this Richardson's packing case maker shop here. What have we got here? We've got Wingates and Johns. Don't know what that is. Wholesale export. Polkowski. Richardson's packing in case, and we've got Stanislaw Novak. Okay. Right. Is anything to be gained from knowledge from the street? It's a well-lit street, isn't it? So we saw from the clip it looked like the victim took the murderer inside. So let's have a word with the constable.
You can go in, Mr. Holmes. She's there. We didn't touch a thing.
Good man. Right, so quite dark and dingy. What is that? Bit of broken woods. There she is there, in the backyard. Let's just quickly go upstairs and see if there's anything interesting up here. Table and chairs. We've got a ripped painting there. Dirty windows. The crowd below. Can't get in there. And looking out the back window into the yard. Okay, let's go and check out this. Oh, there is the poor individual. Oh dear. So she's had throat cut and stomach as well.
It was very good of P.C. Chandler to let us pass. He said no one has touched the corpse. It's the perfect opportunity for us to put our skills to the test. Watson, let's not waste it.
Right, so, it's like a backyard. It's, well, not sure if those windows look. So it is overlooked from some area. What have we got here? A leather apron.
This apron is soaked with water and has left a clear mark on the ground. It must have been left in water for several hours and has been there for some time.
Okay, so she might have been there for some time. What else have we got? A outhouse by the looks of it.
What a stench! Nobody is hiding inside.
Okay. Hello, Constable.
I have nothing to ask.
Okay, the woodshed.
This fence separates the courtyard from the neighbours, 27 Hanbury Street.
Okay. We've got a couple of combs.
2 combs, curiously arranged.
Okay. What's this, a cloth?
A piece of coarse muslin.
Coarse muslin. Okay, let's get the clues first. Got some blood on the wall.
The blood is a dozen inches or so from the ground. Blood stains on the wall.
Okay, so that's spurting blood. That's different to the last one, isn't it? We've got what looks to be something there. It's a scrap of an envelope. London, 28th of August, a couple of days ago. Can't read that, but it's got a insignia of the Royal Sussex Regiment, so a military man.
A torn envelope. It smells of rubbing alcohol. It contains 3 pills.
Oh.
I will take one. 2 should suffice for the police.
Oh, okay. I take it he's going to take it home to experiment on, not he's actually going to take it. Because that would be not very good, Sherlock.
There are no trails on the ground. There's no sign of a struggle.
Okay, so another client.
So, Doctor, shall we examine our victim?
Ah, I'm tired, Holmes. I'm not sure if I am in a state to do this work.
Come, Watson, there is little time. Show me what you're made of.
Oh, my God.
Pray, Watson, pull yourself together. Can you establish the time of the crime?
The extremities of the corpse are cold and rigor mortis is beginning to set in. I would say that the murder was committed over 2 hours ago, before 4:30 a.m.
Before 4:30, okay. So we've got her. Oh, what is that? No, next to her head. Oh God, is that her? That's her intestines, isn't it? They cut her intestines out and dumped them next to her.
Now let's look at the stomach, or at least what remains of it.
It's dreadful, Holmes. Who could do that to someone?
That's what you're here
Indeed.
for, Watson. Tell me
Indeed.
what this man has done.
The stomach has been entirely opened and... Oh, my God! A number of organs have been removed.
So you're telling me that the organs were removed, Watson? They weren't ripped out?
Not at all, Holmes. On the contrary, this is clearly the work of an expert. I couldn't have done any better myself. And the uterus is missing.
Oh. The uterus is missing as well.
Let's look at this poor woman more closely.
She's got the bruising on her cheeks again.
A bruise. The victim's face appears to have bruising, wouldn't you say?
Under the maxilla and cheek. There is less on the right side.
Her tongue is swollen again.
The tongue is swollen.
Oh, look at the cut. It looks quite jagged.
Look at her neck. What can you tell me?
There are 2 incisions.
Look at her neck. What can you tell me?
There are 2 incisions.
Okay. Anything on the ground? Nothing I can see. Nothing obvious. Eyes are okay. Okay. Anything else we need to look at? Her arm?
Looky here.
Ah.
It would seem he has a mark on his left hand.
Yes, he got a little welts or something.
The victim must have worn a large ring or several little
yes,
ones,
yeah.
and someone pulled them off forcefully. This detail will be very valuable, Watson. You can be sure of that.
Anything under the fingernails? No. Okay.
My dear Watson, now that we have found all
Ah,
of our
brilliant.
clues, nothing remains but to subject them to our most likely hypotheses in order to deduce the facts.
The facts. Here we go. So, get those on. Get that on there. Oh, okay. Didn't think there was many, but we've actually got 3 boards this time, so there's quite a few. Let's get them on. Let's get these on the board so we can have a look at them. Get these in there. Right, let's go to the top then. So, murder of Annie Chapman, Hanbury Street, deduction board. Neither footsteps nor streaks of blood on the ground. The killer blurred his traces? Unlikely. The victim wasn't dragged. The killer carried the victim here. There's blood on the wall, so it is likely they weren't dragged, they died here. The blood on the fence is 12 inches off the ground. Some blood spurted on the wall near the stairs. Therefore, the victim had her throat slit while lying down and still alive. Yes. The victim had her throat slit while standing up. No. Had her throat slit while lying down and already dead. No, she was still alive. So therefore, she wasn't strangled. No, it does suggest strangling because her tongue was out, wasn't it? So the victim had her throat slit while lying on the ground and still alive. The victim wasn't dragged. Therefore, Chapman's murder cleaned the ground. No, Chapman's murder took place on the premises. Took place elsewhere. Took place on the premises. The victim had bruises under the right jawbone and beneath the left cheek. So the murderer held the victim's chin with his right hand. No, wrong. The murderer bit the victim. No. The murderer held the victim's chin with his left hand. Yes. With the victim lying down and... Okay. The murderer slit the victim's throat with his right hand. That's interesting because the 2 marks are on the left hand side. So on the corpse's right side, wasn't they? There's 2 and they joined into 1. So you'd think that would be a right hand going across. But again, there's the fence there. With his right hand, I think. Annie Chapman's killer must have been left-handed. Ambidextrous? Right-handed. So that's a right, and the previous one was potentially left-handed. I don't know. The tongue was bloated, suggesting strangulation. Mix that with the victim had her throat slit while lying down but still alive. Chapman died of strangulation. No, Chapman was partially strangled, then had her throat slit. Yes. The envelope is near the victim's head. The envelope was brought out by the victim. The envelope drifted near the head. No. The victim wanted to give the envelope to the killer. Well, I suspect they were pills, weren't they? There were pills of some sort in there, so the envelope was brought out by the victim. Therefore, the envelope fell during the murder. Chapman was holding the envelope in her hand. It belongs to the killer. She was probably holding that in her hand. Yes, okay. We've got board 1 done. Board 2. The item on the victim's feet are very orderly. These items fell the moment of the murder. No, that doesn't make sense. These items belong to the killer. Unlikely. These belong to the victim. Most likely. Chapman struggled greatly. There's no marks on the ground there, is there? Chapman possesses some feminine items. True. The murderer searched Chapman. Definitely true. To get the combs and stuff out of her pockets or whatever. Chapman's murderer likes combs. Possibly. Chapman's murderer is unfeeling and organised. Definitely. Murderer's panicked. No, unfeeling and organised. Definitely. The body is cold and the extremities and rigor mortis is barely started. The crime was committed over 2 hours ago. Barely 2 hours ago. As Dr. Watson said. The murder of Annie Chapman was committed before 4:30 a.m. After 4:30 a.m. Let's go for that one. As per Dr. Watson's advice. Recent large scrape on the first phalanx of the victim's middle finger. Suggests he tried to scratch him. No, the victim may have worn one or more rings. Yes. Chapman took her rings off. Unlikely. Chapman murderer is a weak man. Not if he ripped them off. He's not. The murderer stole the rings. Yes, most likely. There is an incision from the right to the left going around the neck. Oh, it's going from the right to the left. The incision on the neck from the right side, stopping in the middle of the throat. The wound around the neck is jerky and not all in one piece. The murderer used a bad knife, the very sharp blade. The murderer panicked. I'd say to use a bad knife. If it's blunt, it wouldn't cut as much. A very sharp blade would be a very clean cut, wouldn't it? The murderer panicked, but the orderliness suggests he didn't panic. So we'll have to go with a bad knife or something. Organs were missing. The uterus was removed by hands of an expert. So Chapman's killer used a weapon of great size. Unlikely. Chapman's killer didn't use weapons. Chapman's killer used a knife with a short, supple blade. Oh, that's wrong. If he killed it using a large knife, maybe that's why he wasn't precise around the neck? Yes. Okay. That's not obvious to me, but okay. Right, so the murderer used a bad knife. Chapman's killer drew marks on her neck. Chapman's killer wanted to remove the glottis. Chapman's killer wanted to decapitate her. Well, you didn't want to. You could have done that. So, do you want to remove the glottis? No, you wanted to draw. So this is wrong then. So if you used a very sharp blade, that's still green. You wanted to remove her glottis. Marks on her neck. You wanted to decapitate her. Oh, interesting. Okay, I wouldn't have said that, but that's apparently what Sherlock believes. And lastly, Chapman's uterus was ripped out. No, it wasn't. It was removed and taken. It was eaten. No, it was removed and taken. Therefore, Annie Chapman's killer has a knowledge of anatomy, which is true. Lost the uterus. Who knows? Went out with a fury. No, had a knowledge of anatomy.
I hear a noise coming from the street, Watson. The authorities are arriving. It's time for us to go.
Okay, we
Holmes
got that.
has been locked away in his room for days, always saying the same things. I'm thinking, Watson. Very good, Watson. As you wish, Watson. But I am thinking too, so much so that I can't sleep. Annie Chapman. Good Lord.
Oh, I'm actually in control, yes. Yes, poor Annie Chapman. Ah, we can do... So we didn't have to ask the doctor for analysis. We're going to do the
Holmes
analysis.
examined the broken jar
Yeah.
that belonged to Finley's tenant. I wonder what this substance is. I don't recognize the odour.
Formalin, Watson. This jar contained formalin.
Formalin.
Interesting, don't you think? I've been waiting for something for days. Just the tiniest bit of news that would make sense of this whole matter. But there's nothing, neither from the press nor the police. Unless Inspector Aberline is holding on to some information without realizing its importance, which is quite possible. It is time for you to return to the police station in Whitechapel, Watson. And didn't you tell me that you had a matter to take care of it?
Yes.
Take advantage of it to learn more about this pill and its contents.
Ah, but Holmes, it's late, and spending another night in this district is hardly my idea of entertainment.
I know, Doctor, but we don't have any choice. Time is against us. Take your pistol in case you run into any troublesome
Ooh,
characters.
Okay.
Fine, as you wish, Holmes.
We're unarmed this time. It's going to get juicy, it would seem. Right, so let's go back to Whitechapel. I suppose we go to the police station to ask if they've got any more information. We need to go to Isaac's cobbler shop to see if he's got those harnesses, and then to the clinic to swap the cane, and then we can go to Bella's brothel. So let's go to the police station to begin with. Night of September the 11th, the 12th. 1888. Right then.
Good evening. I hope I'm not disturbing you.
Not at all, Doctor. This man, Mr. Richardson, is a witness to the horrid affair at 29 Hanbury Street, the murder of Annie Chapman.
Oh, yes.
We are discussing the relevance of his testimony.
Tell me about the testimony then.
You're probably not in a position to discuss it with me, but I would like to know more about what you call the relevance of this young man's testimony.
Oh, there's no secrecy. It's simply that the testimony given by Mr. Richardson doesn't match the time of death given by the coroner, Dr. Phillips.
What was the time of death, according to him?
Before 4:30 in the morning.
That's what we thought as well, wasn't it?
My conclusions were the same.
Yeah.
Were there any other conflicting testimonies?
Well, 2 other witnesses summoned at the preliminary inquest gave testimony, but in these cases too, the times don't match.
Do you remember what it was they said?
I didn't question them myself. A colleague of mine took down their statements on paper, but on deciding they were of little use, he tore them up and threw them in the bin. There's no point in being bogged down with useless paperwork.
Rightio.
I will take my leave, Humphreys.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Didn't even finish his words. Is this the testimony?
Here are the ripped statements.
Oh my God, we've got to
I
put them
can
together.
piece them together again.
Oh, good God, do we have to? Okay, let's get the corners. It's like jigsaw, isn't it? Right, so that could go there. I guess we've got 2, have we? How do we... Oh, there we go. Is that the same print? Yeah, probably. Anyway, we'll put that there. We've got another one up here. Another corner. Here we go. Obviously, it's going to be 2 testaments, so... That's different font, isn't it? That's lighter. That's darker. Another corner. There we go. That could be any corner. Let's just put that there for the moment. Another corner here, which is obviously that one. There. Okay, so we've got the 2 borders there. We've got another... Ah, I can see a letter on that one, so that's going to be like that. So therefore, you can't go there. You've got to go there. You we don't know about. You go there. So you could be that one. And there's one more corner, this one here, which goes there. Right, so we got the corners. We think. Let's now start at the top. So this is the testimony of A. No, that's not right. But that one's right. You don't go there, do you? Do you go there? You must do. Yes, okay. So you go there. Another straight line here. So that goes there. Oh, I can see that that goes there, just by the jagged pieces. Right, this looks like this one. The of the working. Yep, there we go. This one must go either here. Yep, lovely. And that must, so therefore that one goes. Yep, there. Where's another straight line? That one goes there. That one there. That fits in there. You must go in there. So we've got the outside done. Last straight line, which is you, so you must go there. Testimony of Elong. Right. Can we spot the... That goes in there. There. That goes in there. That one goes in there. So therefore, that one goes there, and that one goes there.
There, all done.
Perfect.
Holmes couldn't have done better himself.
No, pleased with that. So the testament of Elong on the morning of the murder of the witness, domicile 32 Church Street at approximately 5 a.m. to get to Spitalfields Market. She was passing down Hanbury Street at about 5:30 a.m. The witness was certain of the time, as she declares that she heard the clock at Black Eagle Brewery on Brick Lane strike half the hour just before she entered the street. In front of 29 Hanbury Street, she saw a man and a woman talking. It should be noted that the witness identified the body of Annie Chapman at the morgue. The man seen with the victim is described as the witness as follows. Age 40 years old, height a little taller than the woman, whom he was discussing, approximately 5 feet 3 inches. Clothing was brown deerstalker hat, Sherlock, dark coat, a doubt on this point, general appearance of working class. Particular markings, dark hair and moustache, dark face, looks like a foreigner, or Johnny Foreigner, it's always the foreigners. The witness saw the man from behind and wouldn't be able to recognise or identify him. The term foreigner is just associated with a person of Jewish origin. Oh, okay. So if she only saw him from behind, how did she know he had a moustache? Okay, can't really rely on that one. Where's the other testimony then? Envelope. Oh, okay. Ah, there we go, and then we put it in the book. That makes sense now. Okay. Of A. Kadosh, the witness resides at 27 Hanbury Street. Ah, next door. Two backyards are separated by a wooden fence. Yes, tall and thin. Yes. On the morning of the murder, the witness got up at 5:15 a.m. and he went into the yard. There was where the latrine was. It was at 5:20 a.m. On going back into the house, the witness heard voices from behind the fence, coming from number 29. The only word that he understood was no. He went into the building again, but returned to the yard approximately 4 minutes later, whereupon he heard a noise, as if something had fallen against the fence. He then departed for work, and he passed in front of the Spitalfields Church. It was approximately 5:32. So he's saying it happened between 5:15 and 5:30. Elong is saying 5 to 5:30. So why are we out by an hour? Because we reckon, and the so Dr. Watson and the other doctor who did it, the police doctor, reckon 4:30. So we're an hour out. Why is that? Interesting. So the old police report concerning certain arrests. Okay. April 1886, so 2 years ago. At gunpoint from White Plume Mountain Inn. 5 years, Dartmoor. Okay. Benjamin Benny the Scholar. There we go. Houndsditch. Falsifying bank records using false bank records, misappropriation of funds to the detriment of the Royal Bank of London, 8 years, Dartmoor. Okay, it doesn't. Jacob Levy, 30, Aldgate, theft of a weight of meat from his employer, Hyman Sampson, butcher at 58 Goulston Street, Whitechapel, 20 months in the asylum. Okay. Ron Obvious, 26, address unknown, vagrancy, embezzlement, indecent assault, degradation of religious building to the detriment of the authorities in charge of the Chichester Cathedral, City of London Lunatic Asylum, indeterminate duration. Okay. James Longfoot Jim, Noser, 20, Whitechapel. Longfoot, is this the Coleman? It doesn't tell us anymore. I wonder if James Longfoot is our Coleman.
An old report on arrests that took place a few years earlier.
Right.
Excuse me, Doctor, but I must take Mr. Richardson's statement.
Oh yeah, okay, well, I'll join you.
May I introduce myself? I'm Dr. Watson. I am...
You wouldn't be the chap what writes the detective stories in that there paper?
Well, yes, indeed, my stories have been published in the Strand.
Go blimey, wanna tell me old mum?
It would seem your testimony is the subject of some debate. Could you tell me what it was about?
They'll be telling I'm a bit befuddled about the times that I told them. But it can't be so. I knows what I sees and what I don't sees that morning.
What did you see, or what didn't you see? And at what time, would you say?
I'll tell you this for nothing. It's me old mum who lives at the house where the body was found out back in the garden. She has her shop at the bottom to the right of the stairs. Her door was broken down not too far back because it's a real zoo it is. Right, the morning it happened, I head that way to see if me old mum has finally had the place broken into. It was 4:45 when I got there. That I'll swear on me dear old mum's life. I had a look round to see if the cellar had been taken. No. I had a little sit down on the stairs by the courtyard because me shoes were causing me no end of pain and I had a cut and all. I didn't seize a single thing below the steps, Doctor, not one single thing. If there was some bird all covered in blood, tain't no how I could have missed that, even if it were night time. Right, 5 minutes after getting to number 29, I had to clip off. And now they tells me that either I can't tell time no more, or I was fixing me loafer next to a stiff that was still steaming. All right then, evening, gents.
As if, yeah, that's clear. That's clear. Thanks, mate. Thanks, Mr. Richardson. Clear as mud.
Yes, Doctor?
Translation, please, Constable.
So, how far along are the investigations into these two recent murders?
Everyone around here believes both crimes were committed by the same man. But as for the Hanbury Street and Bucks Row crimes, nobody has heard or seen a thing.
Do you know of Tumblety?
By the way, have you heard of a Dr. Tumblety?
No. Is it important?
Yes. Well, no, maybe. Actually, I don't know. I have heard about this man, his frequent nocturnal outings and bizarre behaviour.
What does this chap look like, Doctor? And where can we find him?
Finley will know.
The last I heard was that he was staying at Finley's place, the man who was looking for me a few days ago.
It would greatly assist us if you could ask Finley what your strange associate looks like. We could then see if the description matches any witness accounts.
Right, thank you, Constable.
I will take my leave, Humphreys.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Doctor. He always gets cut off when he says doctor. It's hilarious. Right then. So, we've got the over to Isaac's to get that sorted, but let's quickly go to Finley's, see if he can give us a description of whatever's going on. Here he is. Oh.
There is a strong smell of gas. It seems to be coming from the abandoned building.
Yes, there's a lot of broken windows. Can we get a good view?
There is a strong smell of gas. It seems to be coming from the abandoned building.
Can we get in there? No, there's no doorknob. Let's have a word with Finley.
Good evening, Finley. How are you?
Oh, good evening, Doctor. So. And you?
So, thank you. Can you smell gas?
It smells of gas here.
You might say, Doctor, without wanting to speak ill of the force, I have to wonder if the police are up to something.
What do you mean?
Well, I was outside yesterday evening when the light went out at my place, and a gas smell came from the abandoned building across from my place. And a minute later, the police arrived and was snooping all around like it was them who hid the gas before arriving.
Interesting. For those who don't know, the lighting, street lighting, is gas lighting this time of 1800s. So, tell us about the strange tenant.
Have things sorted themselves out with your strange tenant?
Don't talk about it, Doctor. That man is truly bizarre. He goes to the most sordid locations once night falls. 3 days ago, my wife told me she saw him come in with blood-stained clothes and a fearsome look.
Ooh. Description of the tenant.
Interesting. What does he look like, and how old is he?
Oh, he's my age, give or take, so the other side of 50.
Oh, okay.
He's always dressed in a striking manner with an American hat. He's big, close to 5'11", I'd say. He has a strange voice, not just his accent, see, his voice.
Interesting.
Very well. Goodbye for now, Finley.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Now then, let's go to the police station.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go back to the police station as it's literally around the corner and understand what the heck's going on with this gas situation. We don't want to blow up downtown Whitechapel, although it probably could do with it, to be fair. Humphreys, about the gas.
Yes, Doctor.
Tumbletee's description. Oh,
Tumbletee is a man around 5'11", about 55 years old, extravagantly dressed and with a rather distinctive voice. He boards at Finley's. You should know where that is, as the police were there only yesterday. Their arrival coincided with a strange gas leak.
Ah, yes, I know where you mean. Indeed, there was an odd affair with the gas. It was rather unsettling. We were searching for a well-known scoundrel who was ratted out by Squibby, the chap we followed and saved from the pack a few days ago. This thug, no pity Bluto, must have been in the abandoned building in question. But there was no sign of him when we arrived. Furthermore, an inspector said that, given the smell, the thingamabob that supplies gas to the building was probably damaged. So we took no risks and were called away somewhere else.
right. So there's still gas leaking. Did you call anyone to sort that out?
I will take my leave.
I guess
Humphreys.
not.
Goodbye, Doctor.
I guess not. We're just waiting for a huge downtown explosion. Brilliant. Right. So let's head to Isaac's shop next. And we get a little accordion player. Hello, lovely. Still selling flowers this time of night. Right. Hello, Isaac. Have you got those harness things for us?
Good evening, Mr. Solomonovich.
Good evening, Doctor. What a pleasure to see you again.
The harness.
Have you finished converting the harnesses?
Yes, just now. I got a little behind because of all the commotion.
What commotion? Oh, there we go, look. Okay, commotion.
Commotion?
Don't you start. 3 days ago, the very afternoon that you passed by, there was a chase throughout the neighborhood. Hundreds of people were chasing one man, claiming he was responsible for the murders these last few days. Schmonz! It was awful. I hope those maniacs didn't catch him. Better the police should.
Oh, what about Pizer?
Tell me, did John Pizer turn himself in to the police?
Things unfolded as they should. Look in the newspaper, the Daily News from today.
Thank you, Isaac.
Farewell, Isaac.
Goodbye, Doctor.
And he gives us a paper. Daily News, Whitechapel. There is a good reason why, without prejudice, the case of the man who is now at custody, the public acceptance of the maniacal theory should be endorsed and encouraged. There is a positive danger in the growth of any other opinion at present in Whitechapel. As we have said, the mutilation of bodies, except in rare cases to further the murderer's chances of safety, is foreign to the English style of crime. Interesting. There is a disposition at once, therefore, to set down such atrocities to the credit of some ill-bred and ill-nourished foreigner from the lowest veins of vice of Europe. Okay, where is the bit about? Right, here we go. Bad enough for Leather Apron to call him Leather Apron, and it imply by his readiness to murder women and practice anatomy with a knife upon them. The refinement of cruelty. There are reasons to fear till yesterday that the tendency towards thus insulting the Jews of Whitechapel was growing amid the embarrassment perplexity as to the origin of the murders. The police have discouraged this line of suspicion by acting momentarily upon it, and then provided by the release of the Jew who they arrested, and there was no doubt of his innocence. Okay, there we go. The error of this arrest. Pies is the man arrested and found sitting quietly at home, totally undisturbed by any panic or bloodthirsty demand for that mythical personage, Leather Apron. Okay, so he's been sorted and released by the police. Although they could probably still do him for the muggings he was doing. Now, with that, let's head over to the clinic and see if we can swap the harnesses for the canes. Let's clean the floor. Oops.
Good evening, Dr. Gibbons.
Dr. Watson.
Right. Oh, we can ask about formalin as well, but let's do the cane first.
Did you keep the cane we spoke of last time?
I was going to sell it tomorrow, would you believe, having not heard word.
Okay. Oh, I probably have to give him the harnesses, do I? Ask about formalin.
Do you have any formalin here?
No, definitely not. They have it in university hospitals to conserve anatomical specimens in jars.
Oh.
But in a little clinic like mine, we don't keep anything but bad memories.
So it's like formaldehyde type thing, then.
Well,
okay.
farewell, Doctor.
Goodbye, Dr. Watson.
Right.
I must retrieve Sickert's cane at all costs.
I know, Dr. Watson. We've got a... Could we give him the pill as well, see if he knows what that is?
Yes, Doctor?
Here's some harnesses, look.
Here are your harnesses, Doctor.
They are top quality, I'd say.
Absolutely,
Definitely
they are.
worth the price of this walking stick. Here, it's yours.
Thank you very much. Right, let's ask him about the pill.
Farewell, Doctor.
Goodbye, Doctor.
I must go to Miss Bellows.
Shush. Ask him about this blooming pill, see if he knows what that is.
Yes, Doctor?
Pills.
Could you tell me what type of pill this is?
Yes, we have those here. It's not really a medication. We give them to patients with chronic respiratory conditions like tuberculosis.
Okay. What does it do? Annie Chapman had them.
Did you have a patient by the name of Annie Chapman, the woman killed 3 days ago?
Indeed. She came in the morning of her death. Poor woman.
Did you give her these pills?
Yes, now that I think of it. She actually came in twice. The first time I gave her an almost empty container without making her pay. She came back during the day and said she dropped the container and stepped on the pills. She wanted to know if I could give her more again without paying. I refused. After she left, a patient who was there told me that he lives at the same place and confided that she had been lying. He saw the pills fall in the tenement's communal kitchen, but the woman immediately wrapped them up in a piece of paper.
Where did this paper come from?
According to this man, she'd found it near the chimney in the kitchen.
Anyone could have thrown that paper there. That envelope can't have anything to do with the murder.
Pardon,
Rubbish.
Doctor?
Nothing. I was just talking to myself.
Okay, so that regiment crest was a red herring then. False herring.
Well, farewell, Doctor.
Goodbye, Dr. Watson.
I must go to Miss Bellows.
Yes, absolutely. Right, okay, we're making progress. Right then. To the brothel. This is something I didn't think I'd utter today. Through the manky little alley. And into the brothel. There we go. Just gonna have a word with our mate on the door. Evening.
Out of the way, I don't like the look of you.
Cheers me up that. Oh, he's not here. Right, let's not fall for this again. We've got to give her the cane.
Good evening, ma'am. Your door was open. Isn't that a little dangerous?
Hello, Doctor. Don't worry, if the looks of anyone who enters doesn't please me, me and my pistol know how to convince them to leave.
I've got the cane.
I found the cane that was stolen from your client. Here it is.
Doctor, you are a real saint, I can see that. I'll finally be able to present my bill to this damned painter. If by chance you see him, tell him that a little surprise awaits him here.
Will do. You were going to tell us about Tumblety, weren't you?
You told me you would give me some information on this Dr. Tumblety.
Agreed. He's a Canadian or an American. He parades from
Same
time to time through the neighbourhood in a 50-guinea suit and acts like a doctor. But for business, he isn't worth it. This damn Yankee hates women. The few times that he was approached by the girls, he spit on them, all the while hurling insults. It would seem that he was hunting for the bad boys. He's looking for trouble, that animal.
Does he frequent any pub in particular?
Aye, the Wasp's Nest on Berners Street,
yes,
I
we know
think.
it.
A
Yeah, we know
seedy
it.
spot, even by our standards.
Yeah, okay, good. Do you know anything about Annie Chapman?
Do you happen to know Annie Chapman, the poor woman who was killed 3 days ago?
Dark Annie? Like all the drifters in the area, I've seen her once or twice. With respect to the dead, Annie really was the bottom of the barrel.
Oh, poor Annie.
Well, in our profession, the pretty young ones go out when night has barely fallen and don't have a problem finding takers. But poor girls like Annie or Polly Nichols, who aren't as tender and are often sick, sometimes trudge around for a whole night in the cold and the rain before landing a client. And that doesn't help their appearances either. They don't have much choice about paying for a bed for a few hours, a glass of gin or a hot meal.
How terribly sad.
That's the price of survival in Whitechapel, my angel. One of my girls knew Annie for some time. They bought some jewellery on the black market, I think.
Jewellery? How could Annie Chapman have possibly afforded jewellery?
Luxuries for a woman are always relative to her condition, Doctor. As a matter of fact, it was real cheap junk. Annie got 3 assorted brass rings, I think. It's been said I have a memory for jewellery.
Interesting, because she did have 3 fingers scorned, didn't she, with the rings being pulled off. Lucy, who is the captain's niece.
How is Lucy keeping?
She's doing well, Doctor, but believe me, it won't last. Rare are the girls who can build a future in our profession.
Indeed. Well, good day, Bella.
Very well. I shall let you get back to work, Ma.
See you soon, my love.
Right, so that's all sorted. That's all sorted. Let's say goodbye to our mate here.
Out of the way, I don't like the look of you.
Oh, it makes me chuckle every time. I don't know why. Right, so where are we then? So we've got the things from Isaac. We've got the cane. If we see the guy, we'll let him know the surprise is coming from Bella. We got the Wasp's Nest, which I think is down here. Is it down Batty Street?
Batty
No.
Street.
That's where the captain was, so it's got to be down this street.
Commercial Street. Burner Street.
Burner Street, that's the one. Let's come down here. What do we got here? Ah, that's the International Working Men's Club. Yeah, we saw that. Ooh, what's
Look,
this?
the Club for Socialist Jews, the Cradle of Liberty. Another political club of little interest.
Oh, okay. Hindley Sack Manufacturer and Dutfield a van or cart builder. Okay. Burner Street. This is the Wasp's Nest. That's where we saw the captain. Do we dare go this way? Have a little look around the corner. We might get mugged. It's very dark. Oh, it's a dead end, I think. Yeah, we don't want to be down here. Let's right. Hand on your wallet. Let's head into the Wasp's Nest then.
The Wasp's Nest. This pub looks even more disreputable than the Golden Lion in Baker Street.
It probably is. Right. Here we are. Welcome to the Wasp's Nest, everyone. I guess this is Dr. Tumblety. Is that? Oh, look, there's the artist in the corner there. I'm guessing this is Tumblety here. So, we'll continue this investigation next time. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the adventures of Sherlock Holmes versus Jack the Ripper. Certainly intriguing. We're getting there. We're making progress. 2 girls sadly murdered so far. don't think they'll be the last. We'll pick this up again next time. Thanks ever so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.